I am joined by not my co-host, but my father, and he's here to talk about a fiery car wreck. So, do go ahead.
Okay, your mother and I were following her family down to Ohio for a weekend trip, and we hit a portion of the highway where the road takes a sharp left or goes straight. Your grandfather forgot about the turn coming up, and then instead of just going straight, he cranked on the wheel trying to make the left, and the trailer he was hauling was a little too heavy for the van. And that caused a chain reaction, which caused a rollover accident, and ultimately a propane tank from the camper sprung a leak, and there were several of us, two of us really, who went up in a fireball.
You and Aunt Erica, right?
Correct.
I was talking to Mom about it in the car, and she told me that she got a couple of cuts on her hands trying to pry the windshield off.
Yes.
Yeah.
The van wound up on its side. We were trying to get the windshield to peel back so we could get everybody out through the front of the van. And then Aunt Erica and we realized that the propane tank was leaking, so we decided to go around and turn off the propane tank, see if we could get it to stop leaking. And the rear differential of the van, it's the part that drives the wheels in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was sparking and flaring up because there is oil in there.
Yeah.
And ultimately that spark set off the propane, which was filling the ditch that the van was in. Erica was standing in it, I was standing in it, and then we both wound up with second-degree burns. We spent about a week in the hospital.
Just like on legs, arms?
I had pants on, I had some on my forehead, a little bit on my back, but most of it, because I put my arms up, was on my arms, and basically, I mean, like, the palms of my hands were left untouched, but because I was holding a cell phone and a walkie-talkie, you just don't really think clearly when you're in those situations, but yeah, so I had to go through that ordeal.
How long did you spend in the hospital? Did they do any skin grafts?
About a week. They did not have to do skin grafts, but they had to clean the wounds by peeling off the burnt skin.
Yeah.
It's not a pleasant feeling.
I hope not.
Even with all of the painkillers,
yeah.
drugs they're putting through your system, you can still feel it.
Now, in this book I'm reading,
okay,
Luke and his father are working. They work in a junkyard, so there's a lot of cars, and they have to like process them to be turned into scrap metal.
Okay.
And while they're doing that, they cut out they empty the fuel tanks in a big 5-gallon buckets with no lids.
Okay.
And then they cut out the fuel tanks.
Yes.
This first situation, Luke is carrying one of these 5-gallon buckets to the back of their pickup truck. No lid. He spills some of it on his pants, and then when he's cutting out one of the fuel tanks and a spark lights his pants on fire and he burns his leg.
Yes.
They put it in a garbage can, fill the water with like a bag around it. Then it took like a week or two, I think, for him to recover.
Yeah.
But they never took anybody to the hospital ever, really. There was one occasion where they took someone to the hospital, maybe one or two.
Yeah.
But the second one is Tara's father, who wrote this book. He's cutting out one of the fuel tanks, and I guess he didn't empty it first or something. I don't know. But the spark hit the fuel tank and it exploded.
Yeah.
So his right hand, like the tendons, like shrunk, and it's all goofy and like messed up, and his face is burnt, and like his upper body and stuff.
Yeah.
But Tara says that in later pictures you wouldn't even be able to tell like where all the scars were, because like her mother made miracle salve, they called it, and like constantly.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't take him to the hospital. They just laid him down on the couch. And Tara recalls like seeing her mother like using a butter knife to scrape his ears like away from, because they were put down by the bandages.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Saginaw Children's Zoo. They had, I think they still have it.
They probably
It's been a
do.
couple years. They have a sign. It's the Bobcat jump. See how high you can jump compared to a bobcat.
I think
Bobcat.
there's 12.
Bobcat from a standstill can jump 12 feet into the air.
Yeah.
So it's marked out in foot increments to see how high you can jump, right? I got a little running start and a swing of my arms to go up, and I hit the side of the sign with my
Is that scar still there?
knuckles, yes.
Show the camera.
Right there. Right there. So, luckily for me, the sign was made out of wood.
I thought you put it on the fence.
It did not get caught on the fence. I tore the skin above on my knuckles open on the wooden, the edge of the wooden sign.
Didn't we like just get there too? So we
We had
checked
been
in.
there for
We walked over. You got your running start. You cut yourself open,
15
and then we went to the hospital.
15, 20 minutes. We were there, and I cut myself open, and they did not even have a first aid kit that they could use. No
bandages.
No personnel that could administer first aid. They gave me a wad of paper towel
Oh, I remember that.
that I
I
pressed
also
over.
remember seeing the blood on the sidewalk
Yes.
and screaming, crying because I didn't like blood.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say who was doing the screaming and crying. But yes, I let myself bleed on the pavement a lot more than I probably should have, just because I thought I was going to be able to prove a point, you know. But
How many stitches did you end up needing to have?
8 stitches.
8?
Yep,
Jeez.
they were in there for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I couldn't use my right hand.
Yeah, you have to like put a bag over it in the shower, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I had to put it back over in the shower at work. I had to do my work left-handed, which I'm not left-handed. So
I remember you had to put your hand into something. Was it like, I remember it being like boiling water, like really hot water, but I was too young at the time to really know.
no, I think they trying to clean it off. They may have me put my hand in a bowl of hydrogen peroxide,
Oh yeah, maybe
something like that,
Yeah.
and they definitely cleaned it out. Luckily, I didn't break anything. I just, it was just tearing the skin back is what caused
Yeah.
the bleeding. There was no real.
And it's like a clean tear. They didn't have to like cut anything else to put it together.
Correct. They just put the stitches in, and and the other one. I mean, there were 2 sections to it. The one was small enough they could just, put a Band-Aid over it. The larger one had to have the stitches.
All right.
I had one child who came to me. We were out shoveling snow. Her and her sister were shoveling the turnaround, and I was shoveling the rest of the driveway. And her sister accidentally hit her in the face with a shovel, and she came to me and asked if her nose was bleeding. And she was very calm until I said, yes, you do have some blood coming out of your nose. And then she fell apart and started bawling. She could not handle blood at all. And then she told us she wanted to be a nurse.
How old was I? Like 7?
No.
No.
No, you were maybe 3 or 4.
I wanted to talk about how Tara's connection with music is kind of beautiful, I guess, in a sense. Um, she first sings when she's little at a play and at church choir. So she says that it just flows from her, which I honestly do really get because I feel the exact same way. Okay, so if there's just like a certain melody that's just like really like, you know, so, but if there's a certain melody like that, and if the lyrics match it like really, really well, you know how you kind of just like, you just like block everything else out, and that's like the only thing that you like want to hear ever again. It's kind of like that, but it's also like when I sing it, I feel some like connection to the song and kind of a little to the artist, even though I don't know the artist and I probably never will. But music is such a large part of my life that it would be hard to imagine life without it, to say. And I mean, Tara must have, like, I don't know, listened to music during her college life slash high school study time. I know she listened to it under Tyler's desk, and that was really what captivated her. And she went into that. She enjoyed that, and I love that for her. But I think I don't know yet because I'm not sure who the right people are to get it to. But I would like to like record a clip or like an audio clip or a video clip of me singing and send it into something like some agency and see just where it goes. I mean, I talked to Mr. Ginther about it like just now, and I was like, "Hey, doesn't like Waylon Hanna live in town? Like, can't he do something?" And Mr. Ginther was like, "Yeah, I don't know. Like he does live here. He might have something, but I don't know where he lives, and that would be a little rude to just like knock knock. Hey, Waylon Hanna, I need your help. Like that would be kind of rude. I want to go somewhere, you know. I want to feel like my voice is good enough to actually go somewhere as like a pop star, hip hop. Like some of my favorite artists, like they aren't big. Compared to other artists like Metallica, they aren't big. But they do have like a massive following. And I kind of want that. Like I don't want to be, if anything were to happen, I wouldn't want to be like like super duper famous. I just want to be like there, and I want people to enjoy my music and like have connections with the songs that like are meaningful. I feel like that would be really beautiful to have. Like to tell other people how I feel and have them feel the same way and figure out like what to do next, like while they're listening to my, I think that's beautiful. I've actually started the process of sending in a clip to some sort of agency. I really need to know where to go and how to handle it. And I'm not sure if anybody I know would be able to do that for me. And there's no one I can really talk to about it. So, yeah, well, that's where I'm at. But I really hope that it does go somewhere and it does work out. Because, honestly, I don't know if this cooking thing is going to work out for me. I don't really like it as much as I did. Because it's not, like, it's not for myself anymore. When I was cooking for myself, I absolutely loved it. But now that I'm in a whole class and I have to like cook for sales and I have to cook for dinners and luncheons, I don't know. I don't like it. Okay, so the last little bit of what I wanted to talk about is her relationships. She mentions them very briefly, and they're all very good, I would say. She doesn't seem to have very many issues with any of her boyfriends that she mentions. Which is, like, great for her, actually. But I feel like my experience is kind of the opposite, complete opposite, almost, to what she experienced. I mean, all of her boyfriends are, like, really nice. And they seem to have a better home life than her, which is really good. But my past boyfriends have not had exactly like a good home life. And they brought that into the relationship. And I'm all for, like, supporting and, like, making sure your feelings are heard and, like, all that. But they would never do the same for me. So, I mean, I did some further research, and she doesn't stay with Drew, the guy that she's dating at the end of the book. She doesn't date Drew. Like, they're still good friends, but she's married to somebody else now. And they've been married for, like, a while, so... Yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to talk about. I don't want to get, like, too in-depth, because she doesn't really get that in-depth. And there's nothing really that stands out that I really want to talk about. So, I think that's it. I think I'm done. I really hope you like it. It took... Well, I did film the 2 hours of footage, and then I kind of scrapped most of it, and then So I cut it down a lot, because a lot of the things that I talked about weren't really, they didn't really pertain to the assignment. Hopefully this microphone quality is good, because my wired JBLs actually, like, died. Like, the wired headphones that I had, they died. Neither of the buds work anymore, and I don't think the speaker does, like, the mic does either. So hopefully it's good. I don't know.